you may not relish the notion of having the sense of grace all around you. You may think life is so hard, and it indeed is hard. But those who are able to settle themselves, it becomes quite convenient despite the challenges they face. If you are able to internalize the experiences which happen around you and you find yourself right in the middle of it, you would say that even though you may go through some form of struggle and hardship, mostly it has to do with you coming up as one of the most prominent person in that specific field where you are struggling to make your name. But to tell you the truth, you don't have to be the number one person where you are. You don't have to be. Who knows, there could be better places for you where you should be the number one, not the place where you are. So it's a human feeling always to outperform the other, always to outsmart the other, always to outdo the other. There's nothing wrong in that. What I'm trying to fetch out of this talk is the fact that you do not need to prove yourself to be the number one if the place where you are doesn't belong to you. In fact, you should go through and should be ready to become subservient to the situation around you, even if you know something much more better can be done than what it is. You do not have to contribute to someone else's glory if you are at the wrong place. You will end up glorifying the image of XYZ if you are not in the right place. That person, since that person belongs to that place, he will use your knowledge, your expertise to magnify his image. So what happens is, in all this spectrum of the changes that do occur from time to time, does require your involvement. And if you are only able to involve yourself into it, you will say that you have the power of detachment. The detachment comes from involvement, not from running away. The running away feeling comes about once you know that your own position is threatened and you have to prove yourself. You feel bad about being subjugated, being subservient, being number 3 and 4 and 5 or 6 or nowhere. That's when you want to come out and say something which will capture some attention from the people, which is such a wrong strategy because you do not belong there. So become subservient person there instead of magnifying someone else's image. That's what all of us need to understand. There is no point being number one at the wrong place, my dear friends. And one has to be attentive enough to know this reality that if we are playing our best game in the wrong field, then we will only become a support to those who may not have the best interest for us. So if you are stuck somewhere, maybe in the office or somewhere in the corporate sector or the political regime where the power freak people who do anything and everything to just get any piece of the cake they can place their hands on. So if you find yourself in that gamut of change where everything is so volatile, find yourself where you look most stupid. Playing dumb is the best strategy ever. I come again. Playing dumb is the best strategy. मूर्ख दिखना बहुत ही जरूरी है, मूर्ख होना नहीं. Because you are trying to glorify your image in front of those people who are not your tribe, my dear friends, who are not your type and tribe. And if you try to get aligned with those who are not your type and tribe, you will end up becoming one of those type and tribe which you can never be, which you are not, and which you should not be. But those type and tribe where you do not belong has a massive significance. And what is that significance? The significance is you do need to let go of things, and you are being channelized there in order to let go of the things which are hindrance to reach where you are most entitled to, where you should be heading up to. So of course you gotta have the sense of gratitude towards everything that is going around, which is not so good, which is not so favorable, so to speak, which does not appease your senses. You feel as the second and third and fourth kind of person. You are not in the limelight. So that's very significant to understand. ठीक है ना? ठीक है? So all I want to say, without distracting you, in the end, to sum it up, you need to have all these different layers of hurdles on your way to help you chisel more precisely for the things which is meant for you. So all of us, we do find ourselves in some layer of confusion, some level of authority and power, where people could be very manipulative, and people do find manipulation in so many ways to do things in their favor, and they use whatever they can, the power and the position they want to hold on to, despite being so mentally weak. They cannot hold on to, my dear friends. Even though they are there by some design, they cannot hold on to the same level of glory. So never mind, their power will attenuate. Their power will attenuate. And as you learn to get more evolved with the situation, that evolution of yours has to do with your involvement, and that involvement has the detachment. I come again. The self-evolution has to do with involvement, absolute involvement of yours, and that involvement has this element of detachment. If you are able to learn this, you can sail through any confusion, you can sail through any problem. Though you may look like a person of absolute insignificance, a person of no authority, no power, nothing at all, you are subservient to the situation. You may look like that. You may look like being subjugated, being suppressed. It's just for the time being before this one starts to shift. As long as you internalize everything within this mechanism. So with these words from this very sacred land of Bihar, as you saw a few of the great people of Bihar just walk by here. It's so good to be here on this soil, barefoot, and feel so connected to this land, because I'm just from like across, not very far away from here. So thank you very much, and see you very soon.